Thanks for joining today's episode of Small Talks for Big Change, where we help simplify financial topics to help with your financial wellness. My name is Michele Enriquez, Membership Development Manager here at Patelco Credit Union, and today we want to shine a spotlight on a reality that many people may be facing, and that is that making ends meet while trying to save money and meet financial goals right now is just hard. We've got two Patelco experts in the studio to help address what's happening in our region and ways that Patelco can help. We've got Jen Mink, Director of Financial Wellbeing here at Patelco, who's a regular here on the show. But today we have Richard Rantz, who's our VP of Consumer Lending. So a big, long overdue welcome to the studio, Richard. And Jen, welcome back. It's always great to have you.
Thank you, Michele. Good to be back with Richard here today.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited for my first podcast.
First podcast. So let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Despite savings rates being at some of the highest rates we've seen in decades, we've got to acknowledge that not everyone is in a position to take advantage of those great rates right now, that some folks are really just trying to make tough financial decisions with basic cost of living, especially here in the Bay Area. I grabbed some data from the Bay Area Equity Atlas that tracks economic trends over 9 counties, and it measures economic security, and their latest study for 2024 shows that 6 out of 10 low-income adults are unable to cover their usual expenses, including buying food and groceries, paying housing, those utility bills right now, and keeping up with monthly car payments and other transportation costs. So that's more than half of those that were studied.
Sobering.
It really is. Richard, you're Patelco's Vice President of Consumer Lending that includes auto and personal loans and credit card products for our members. What are you seeing and hearing about from our members?
Thanks so much, Michele. I'll just give a little background on myself. I've been in the financial industry for over 25 years now and have been serving our members here at Patelco for over 13 years, which has been a wonderful experience. Currently, I'm responsible for both ends of the spectrum when it comes to consumer lending at Patelco. I have my operations teams that ensures, a smooth and seamless experience while fulfilling members' consumer loans. And then I have my servicing teams that assist our members when they have any questions or during this time have financial stress in their lives. In talking about the financial stress aspect of it, I do want to point out that currently we're in a very interesting and unprecedented time in the economy. Mm-hmm. Many of the economic factors that we look at don't show that the economy is stressed or that we could be potentially heading into a recession. But we do know that, as you stated, many families are struggling. Yeah. Unemployment is still low. Jobs created continue to outpace our projections, and GDP is standing strong. Typically, these are the leading indicators into a recession like what we saw during the Great Recession. Those numbers went very differently. It's a very different and challenging time for our members. Even though the economic factors might look normal, inflation has made everyday goods much more expensive. Interest rates are also very high right now, which makes credit more expensive and often results in higher loan payments. Yeah. These additional expenses are putting a lot of stress on our members financially, and as you pointed out earlier, that number continues to grow. I'll just share a personal story. 2 weeks ago, my mom reached out to me because she's retired and lives on a fixed income, and her heater went out. So that was a very costly fix. So she had to really look at her finances and make some really tough decisions when it came down to it. And during these times, I think that's what we have to do. We need to, if we can, we want to prepare for it. But if we can't, understand the programs that are out there for you.
Yeah, we've been definitely hearing about utility bills and grocery bills in specific, really putting a strain on our members. What are we telling folks when they share challenges with us, when they come to us and they trust us for advice? What advice are we giving?
First and foremost, we just want them to know that we're here to help our members always. That's financial wellness is what we're about, And it's not always an easy conversation to have. It can be a very hard situation to talk about, but it's also very important. I just always like to say, if anyone finds themselves in a financial situation, the best option is to reach out. If you don't want to have that conversation yet, visit our financial wellness page, our financial assistance page on patelco.org, because it talks about all the programs for short and long-term financial hardships that we offer. Like we talked about, it happens often that you have unexpected expenses. Your car breaks down, you have a medical expense, and you don't have the money to pay those expenses. Yeah. But Patelco does offer quite a few programs to help these members. We have a skip a pay program, which allows you to skip one loan payment. But if you need a little bit more assistance in that, we also have a deferral program, which allows you to skip 2 loan payments. Having a program like that to where you can skip those payments, have that money to pay those expenses and keep yourself in a better financial situation, that's what those programs are for. We also have longer term programs, so if you find yourself in a longer term hardship, we have loan workout programs which allow us to rework your loans to make your payment more affordable on a temporary or permanent basis. These programs are here to help our members and help them stay financially healthy. That is our mission.
That's awesome. I have a friend who used to give me so much flack for taking advantage of the skip a pay every year. It really is, I feel like, something that's unique to credit unions and something that, even if we're talking a $300 car payment, and let's face it, some car payments are a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Even just relief from one payment twice a year or even once a year can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Huge.
So thank you for that, Richard. I'm going to toss this same question to Jen as our Director of Member Experience and Financial Health. Jen, you and your group really have the best pulse on how our members are feeling. What are some of the things that you guys are hearing?
I mean, it's tough out there right now. Many of our members are really facing significant financial strain due to inflation. I know that I am. I know all of my friends are. And that ultimately has led to an increased cost of living, higher housing prices, rates are higher, utilities. Richard, you mentioned your mom's heater.
Absolutely.
I mean, all of those things put an incredible strain on us when everything else is just really expensive. And just a huge increase for everyday necessities. Disposable income for essential needs is reduced, and people are just really having a hard time making ends meet. And these challenges are compounded for those on a fixed income, such as your mom, Richard, retirees, or those members with lower income, right? So they're getting the same amount of money, but everything is going up significantly. And our members are finding it hard to stretch their budgets to cover the escalating cost of food, healthcare, transportation, just to name a few. And all of these things are really adding up and pushing our members towards financial insecurity or debt. And I can say for me and my family, we've definitely felt the sting of this economy. Both my husband and I work full time, but we have 4 young children, 2 of which are in full-time daycare. I have 2 that are preteen and eat a ton. One of my sons is like a garbage disposal.
Oof.
Between Sam's Club, Costco, and Safeway, I can't keep food on the shelves in the pantry. And I've noticed that just going to the grocery store after work to get milk, bread, and eggs ends up costing $30 when in the past it was probably around $18. It's crazy. And not even to mention the cost of clothing. I went to Kohl's this weekend for my kids and I almost passed out at the cash register realizing I was paying $35 for a shirt. And let's not even talk about the extracurricular activities that they want to be involved in. We have 4 soccer players, so that's expensive. The cleats, the balls, paying for the soccer, all of that is really tough.
What resources are you sharing with members? And I feel you 100%. I am so much resonating with everything that you're saying. We've got baseball in the household right now,
all
that
that's
equipment.
expensive.
The groceries, too. I mean, we hear it, but I'm really feeling that in our household, too.
I have 2 daughters, and I know about the clothing.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a lot.
It can be a lot. So we've got some really cool resources, right, Jen? Can you share a little bit about those?
I am so excited to share this because it's something that I've really been kind of talking about with the Patelco team, right? All of our people that serve our members front line have the opportunity to share this. And it's a resource that we rolled out in 2023, and it's called Spring 4. And Spring 4 is a financial wellness platform designed to connect individuals with local resources and programs that can really help them improve their financial situation. Spring 4 is amazing. When you access Spring 4, you are connected to a curated directory of vetted assistance programs spanning various needs such as saving on utilities. Richard, you should tell your mom about Spring 4.
Absolutely.
Finding available housing options, secure job training, and even obtaining financial counseling. And what I love most about Spring 4 and something I've really been sharing with our team here at Patelco is we know, based on talking to our members, that they are really suffering financially. But one of the things that comes up often is food insecurity. And with Spring 4, you can literally type in your zip code and Spring 4 will direct you to places you can get food for yourself and your family. This is all, Michele, free of charge as a benefit of being a Patelco member, which I think is pretty awesome.
That's a great resource.
It is. It's amazing. And another resource that we offer is Bonsai. And Bonsai is a free service to our members that can assist in creating and maintaining budgets and to really help track your spending. So where's that money going and how can you reduce in different areas? I know I've been looking at all of my automatic debits on a monthly basis, and I'm like, wow, why do I even have cable? Because I am subscribed to everything, right? And so how can we track that spending and really find out where we can kind of cut the fat and be in a better financial position?
I actually shared Bonsai with my mom to help her
Oh,
with
that's
their budgeting.
nice.
Yes.
Bonsai is amazing, and it can help you identify areas in which a member can save money and make more informed decisions about their finances. And what I really love about it, and I think that benefits all of our membership, including our youth members that we have, is it provides that financial education resource and gives you personalized advice to help you improve financial wellness. And that, as we all know, working at Patelco can lead to greater financial stability and peace of mind. And I want to mention one last resource, which I think is probably our strongest resource that we have here at Patelco, and that's the resource of our team. So each of our branches has a specialist that can actually sit down with you to create a budget, help you with short and long-term goals, such as saving for a car or retirement, and help you to understand the details of your credit and what you can do to level up your credit report. And finally, create a debt repayment plan. And all of this is for free, which is a benefit of being a Patelco member. And I want to say I've seen some huge success stories with our CFSs in our branches who started with member a few years back, and the member comes back to us a few years later in a really positive financial situation. Their credit reports improve, they're able to borrow at lower rates, and it is a huge benefit to meet with a CFS. So if you are interested in any of these resources, we definitely encourage you to visit us at patelco.org. And as Richard mentioned earlier, click on the Financial Wellness tab for all of these resources.
Awesome. So those are such great resources and tips. Thank you, Jen. So let's go around the room one more time and talk about, can you guys give the audience one more nugget to take away to stay resilient during these challenging times?
I think it's what we've talked about, and that is understanding the tools and programs that your financial institution has that can help you either prepare for a financial event or assist you should you find yourself in a financial situation where you need assistance. Being prepared always goes a very long way.
I love that. And I agree, Richard. And I just want the members listening to this podcast, or even our team members, right? Because we're all in this together, never hesitate to reach out to us. We are here to help. Ask us for help. That's what we're here for. There's so many resources that you don't even know about that Patelco can offer. And Richard's team does an amazing job kind of understanding your situation and putting you into the best program to help you kind of over that financial speed bump, if you will. So don't assume that there's nothing we can do, right, Richard?
Absolutely.
And the question...
Reach out.
Exactly. And I just want to say resilience is a huge thing that a lot of us are facing right now. We've got to be resilient, whether it be with our health, our finances, the economy, whatever it might be. We really have to focus on being resilient. And actually for my son, he just had his 10th birthday. And my son really struggles in school, and sometimes he can get really discouraged. And so my mom bought him this deck of positive affirmation cards. And I'm from member experience, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm all about the touchy-feely and empathy and things like that. But the very first card on the deck was about doing hard things and how we just need to be resilient in life and realize that hard things happen, and, you know, they could happen for a while, but at the end of the day, we really get through them.
Yeah, absolutely. And here at Patelco, we talk about these building blocks of resilience for our members, right? And there's 4 of them, and they start by just getting day-to-day budgeting, and then you move on up these building blocks to take advantage of opportunities, right? But along the way, we talk about having advocates in your corner to be able to get advice and consultation from. And I think that's the theme of our message today, is really you have an army of resources here, an army of people here at Patelco to support. So our members really have to take that first step, but they need to know where to
agree.
go. So you guys have referenced this Financial Wellness Center on patelco.org. On one of the tabs on the top, you'll see the Financial Wellness Center. In there, you'll find the podcast, you'll find the webinars, you'll find a ton of articles, but you'll also find this Spring 4 resource that Jen mentioned.
Yep.
Patelco as an organization, we're really focused on giving and supporting food insecurity. So a lot of those organizations and food banks that we give to can be accessed on that Spring 4 platform. So that's exciting that that synergy exists. But also in the way of people and education, there's no shortage of folks that you can come and see at Patelco. From that website, you can find our 800 number and call any one of our representatives. We've also got a chat feature on the website also, so if you want to get in touch with somebody, you can do so via chat. And then we've got 36 branch locations and those CFS resources that Jen mentioned that are available at the branch for you to just consult with on a complimentary basis too.
And we have virtual branch. And I know one thing we talked about last week, which I thought kind of really hit home, is sometimes when you're struggling, it's kind of embarrassing, right? You're behind on a car payment or maybe two, or you can't pay your credit card bill. So we have virtual branch. If you don't want to come into a branch, you can, talk to us through Zoom in a virtual environment. We have chat features, like Michele mentioned on our website. You can just put in, I'm struggling with making a payment, and it gives you options. But I kind of want to leave everybody with something that just kind of resonated with me when I was thinking about this podcast and just everything that we're going through and how we're all in this together, and just really remembering that every setback is a setup for a comeback. And your financial journey is not defined by how many times you stumble, but by how many times you rise, learn, and move forward with renewed vigor and insight. And we all remember 2008, right? Really hard year for the economy with the housing market and everything. And I remember being in branches and it was really tough for our members, and I heard it all day long. And just always remember that we are a partner with you. Patelco's here. And together we will get through this, and we are setting ourselves up for that comeback, Michele.
I love every setback is a comeback.
That's great advice.
Love that one. I tell my kids all the time too, and I coach sports, and I tell them it's not about how many times you fall, it's how you get back up.
That's right.
So,
and I think it's also important that they know that the earlier that you reach out, should you find yourself in a financial situation, the better.
Yep. Don't be shy. Richard's great. His team is great. We are here for you guys.
that is so
Yes, we are.
awesome. So, Richard, thanks so much for being here. And Jen, thanks so much for coming back. That concludes today's episode of Small Talks for Big Change, where we help simplify financial topics to help with your financial wellness. Stay resilient out there and let us help along the way. We'll see you next time. Patelco is insured by NCUA.